It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, yesterday I had Wes McCarter from NextEra. We talked about some data, staggering numbers. By the way, folks, I got to be honest with you. I was a little bit passionate there about yelling at people using the data. But then I decided, you know what? I don't really care if you don't use the data. That's just one less person to get out of the way, let somebody else come in that really wants to drive forward and do things based on realities in the marketplace. Okay, I had to say that one more time. But anyway, folks, someone sent me an email the other day, very interesting, and they were talking about how there's this big institution that's going to go from 40,000 devices down to 11,500 devices. 80% of those devices, 80% of the 11,500 devices are going to be A4. That's right, folks. They're getting rid of a whole shitload of A3s. And those A4s are going to be between 45 and 55 pages per minute. But here's something that was alarming in this bid. And when I saw this one component of what they're doing, it made me think, holy crap, could this be a trend that the whole world starts to see? Out of the 11,500 devices, less than 5% of them are going to be color. 5%. Folks, when you look inside WorldStats, the largest database in the world, you'll see that between 25 and 30% of all the walk-up copy machines are color. 25 to 30% of the population base, not talking about printers, not talking about the little Soho, all-in-ones where most of those are color. I'm talking about the walk-up devices in the hallways, whether they're A4 or A3. You're only going to see about 25 to 30% of those being color against the black and white models. Do you realize if we go from 25 or 30% of our population in walk-up devices as color down to 5%, what impact that would have on our service revenues? I mean, think about it, folks. Most of these machines, until you get into production color, until you get into the higher volume machines, they're running a couple thousand color pages, 1,000 color pages a month. If you're charging 7 cents and they're doing 1,000, that's $70 a month. If they're doing 2, do the math, it's 140. Well, if they replace that color machine with a black and white machine at a penny and a half, well, guess what that is? That's $15 or $30. So, folks, if the industry's end users are going to stop buying color devices for walk-up, that could be devastating. It really could be. So then you got to ask yourselves, well, why would they do this? And, folks, I believe the reason they're going to do this is because we all thought when the color machine got really inexpensive, we could get it down to that 5, 6 cents, that everybody would print all this fancy stuff in color. As we saw, Excel spreadsheets turn into dashboards and pie charts with all different kinds of colors, customers would print those off like crazy. We thought customers would take out their smartphones while they were at work and print off pictures of their kids. We thought color would just be printed and running around through the whole entire business process. But guess what, folks? It really never happened. It really never happened. Think about it yourself. When was the last time you printed a picture from your iPhone in color on the color copier? Been a long time, hasn't it? When was the last time you gathered around the conference room with, the proposal or the presentation all stapled and collated for everybody to get a set, all the fancy color pie charts? Been a long time, hasn't it? You see, folks, we're looking at all these color documents that we thought we would get printed. We're looking at them behind glass. We're looking at them on our iPhones. We're looking at them on our iPads. We're looking at them on the 72-inch TV on the wall. We're not printing them off. And end users are starting to realize, I don't even want it. I don't even want it in the hallway because there's no process in my business that requires me to print in color. There really is no process that requires me to print in color. Customers are looking at the processes. The processes. What process do I need that requires me to print it all? And just as we see with this upcoming bid, we're taking 40,000 devices down to 11,500. 5% of those are going to be color. These are things we got to pay attention to. And as I keep telling my friends in the imaging channel, if you don't figure out how to diversify, if you don't figure out how to deliver other products and services to those end users, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble as the black volume doesn't go back where it was, but you could be in serious trouble if we replace 20 or 30% of our walk-up copiers that used to be color with black and white. That could be trouble, folks. Something to be prepared for. Let's look at some of these bids that are coming in from government agencies, and let's see where the trends are going. But you know what, folks? Here's the reality. If we're not willing to look at data, well, we're going to miss things like this. It's when we look at data and we start seeing trends that allow us to prepare for what's coming. So, I'm going to end this the way I always do. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.